Everyone, my name is Madison Price. Today I will be discussing how two essential diagnostic tools, electroencephalography, also known as EEG, and polysomnography, also known as PSG, play an important role in diagnosing and managing narcolepsy. This presentation will explore what narcolepsy is, how it affects the body, and how EEG and PSG help us better understand and treat this condition. All right, moving on to what is narcolepsy? Narcolepsy is a chronic disorder of the central nervous system that affects the brain's ability to regulate its sleep and wake cycles. The most common and noticeable symptom is excessive daytime sleepiness, also referred to as EDS. This means that people with narcolepsy can fall asleep during daily activities like eating, talking, and even dangerously driving. Other symptoms include cataplexy, which is a sudden loss of muscle c- control triggered by emotions like laughter or surprise, hypnagogic hallucinations, which are vivid, dreamlike experiences while falling asleep, and sleep paralysis, which is a temporary inability to move or speak when waking up or falling asleep. Lastly, there are two types of narcolepsy. Type 1 includes cataplexy and is linked to a deficiency of a brain chemical called hypochrexin. Type 2 does not include cataplexy and usually has normal hypocretin levels. Both types can significantly impact a person's quality of life. And then in this image over here, I just have the main symptoms of narcolepsy that I had just previously mentioned. All right, moving on, we're going to talk about the pathophysiology of narcolepsy. Narcolepsy, especially type 1, is primarily caused by the loss of hypocretin producing neurons in the hypothalamus, which is a region of the brain responsible for regulating arousal and REM sleep. Hypocretin, also called orexin, helps keep us awake and maintain our stable sleeping patterns. When these neurons are lost, the boundaries between sleep and wakefulness become blurred. Many scientists believe this loss is due to an autoimmune response, meaning the body's immune system mistakenly attacks its own cells. This theory is supported by a presence of the genetic marker called the HLA allele, and more specifically, the DQB1 0602 in most people with type 1 narcolepsy. This genetic marker is involved in the immune response, which suggests a correlation between narcolepsy and immune system dysfunction. This autoimmune connection has become a key area of research and could lead to more targeted treatments in the future. Okay. All right, now we're going to be moving on to EEG, or electroencephalography, which is a tool used to measure the electrical activity in the brain using small sensors attached to the scalp. In sleep studies, EEG helps determine what stage of sleep a person is in, such as light sleep, deep sleep, or REM sleep, by analyzing brainwave patterns. For people with narcolepsy, EEG can detect two key features: sleep onset REM periods, or also known as SOREMPs, which are when a person enters REM sleep within minutes of falling asleep, and fragmented sleep where the normal flow of sleep stages is disrupted by frequent awakenings. These features are not typically seen in healthy sleepers and are highly suggestive of narcolepsy. EEG data is crucial in identifying these patterns and then guiding its diagnosis. All right, moving on, we're going to be talking about polysomnography or PSG, which is an overnight sleep study that records a wide range of physiological signals while a person sleeps. It includes EEG to measure brain activity, EOG to track eye movements, EMG to measure muscle tone, and sensors to monitor breathing, heart rate, and oxygen levels. In the context of narcolepsy, PSD is used to ensure that symptoms like excessive sleepiness aren't being caused by other sleep disorders, like obstructive sleep apnea. Apnea causes brief interruptions in breathing during sleep, which can lead to severe daytime fatigue and might be mistaken for narcolepsy. PSG also helps measure total sleep time, sleep efficiency, and the number of awakenings, of all which are important in evaluating overall sleep quality and planning the next steps in your treatment. Next, we'll be moving on to the multiple sleep latency test, or also known as MSLT, which is conducted during the day immediately after the overnight PSD happens. It's designed to measure how quickly a person falls asleep in a quiet, relaxed environment and how soon they enter REM sleep. This test involves five scheduled nap opportunities, which are then spaced 2 hours apart. During each nap, EEG and other measurements are used to determine sleep latency, which is the time it takes to fall asleep, and then also whether REM sleep occurs. If a person falls asleep in under 8 minutes on average and enters REM sleep within 15 minutes during at least two of the naps, it strongly supports a diagnosis of narcolepsy. This test is considered the gold standard in confirming narcolepsy. All right, now we're going to be moving on to talking about differentiating narcolepsy from idiopathic hypersomnia, or also known as IH. Narcolepsy can easily be confused with idiopathic hypersomnia or IH because both can cause severe daytime sleepiness. However, there are important differences. People with IH usually don't experience cataplexy or SOREMPs. Instead, they have longer periods of uninterrupted but unrefreshing sleep and take longer to enter REM sleep. PSG and MSLT help distinguish the two conditions. For example, if a patient is sleepy during the day but doesn't enter REM quickly or frequently during the MSLT, IH is more likely than narcolepsy. This distinction is critical because treatments and patient education strategies differ for each condition. And then in this image right here, I just have some of the symptoms I had previously talked about for IH, which include that EDS, the unrefreshing sleep, the difficulty waking up, daytime naps, social difficulties, physical signs, mood changes, and cognitive difficulties. Moving on, neurodiagnostic professionals are trained to set up and run tests like EEG and PSG. They prepare patients by explaining procedures and ensuring that electrodes and sensors are correctly placed, which is so important. During the study, they monitor the data in real time and annotate key events such as unusual muscle movements or rapid transitions into REM sleep. These professionals also troubleshoot technical issues and ensure that the data collected is accurate and complete. Okay. Their expertise is vital for helping physicians interpret test results and make a correct diagnosis. In many cases, their keen observations can be the first step in identifying the signs of narcolepsy. Next, we'll be moving on to emerging technology within the field of NDSS and then, more importantly, narcolepsy. Technology is transforming the way sleep disorders like narcolepsy are diagnosed. Artificial intelligence is being developed to automatically score sleep studies by analyzing patterns in EEG and other data. This could help reduce human error and speed up the diagnostic process. Wearable devices like smartwatches and headbands are also being used to track sleep at home over longer periods. These tools are not yet replacements for lab-based testing, but they do offer new ways to monitor symptoms and detect trends that may otherwise go unnoticed. And your sleep may be different from when it is in a lab-based setting than at home. As these technologies advance, sleep professionals will need to stay informed and integrate them into their clinical practice. All right, moving on. Just to conclude, narcolepsy is a serious condition that affects a person's ability to live a normal and productive life. Despite its impact, it often goes undiagnosed or misdiagnosed for years. Fortunately, tools like EEG and PSG provide critical insight into brain and sleep function, making accurate diagnosis possible. The role of neurodiagnostic professionals paired with emerging technologies ensure we can detect narcolepsy earlier and treat it more effectively. And then as research continues to uncover more about the disorder, our ability to support patients will only grow stronger. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you.